Well, you folks, I'm here working on the Mustang again. So we had done the whole front rear suspension on the driver's side. So now we're tackling it on the passenger side. We actually already have the front passenger side done. May have seen, I think I had a video where we did completely rebuilt the whole front end. Upper lower control arms, coil springs, new shocks, steering linkage, anyway, a bunch of all the parts on the front end we've done. So now we're working on the rear passenger side. And there's some parts on here that have been on the car since it was first built in February of 1967, which is kind of interesting. My birthday's in February 1st to be exact, so I got a birthday coming up. But this car was built on February 22nd, 1967, which I think is interesting because I was born in February and my sister's day of birth is the 22nd there. So I don't know, it just seems right that the car my dad and mom bought originally in 67 shares something in common with both me and my sister. So anyway, so we'll get down and kind of show you where we're at with this thing. It's not a very good area to shoot, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to switch over and we'll take a look. Okay, so we're under the car. Now you can see the old shock. It was red at one point. I've got it loose off the mount down here. If you can see that, the ring that comes out of. So we got that. And I've started undoing the U-bolts that mount in there. And just to show you the bushings that were on the shock, I think this was on the upper side, but you can see pretty slap wore out in both cases. So, you know, and the shock just, you know, you can see me, see if I can get back it up. You can see it. I can just push it up. There's no resistance. It doesn't come back out. So yeah, these shocks are shot. So anyway, I'm working now on getting, whoops, jack out of the way, the mount up here loose. We got one of 4 bolts out, working on the second one. This shock mount, this bracket has been on here since the car was built, as far as I know, never come off, and so it really doesn't want to. This here is going to be the bear. So this is the front of the leaf spring going into the frame and the mount here. So I'm trying to, whoops, pardon my fingers, trying to hold this and point at the same time, and also make sure you're seeing things. This is not easy to do, but anyway, so whoop, there we go. There's my finger. So this bolt goes through. There's a grommet up in here. You can kind of see some of the rubber there. It's all cracked. Then through, as we talked about when we did the other leaf spring, the bolt goes through the frame of the car here, and then there's the other side of it that's over there. Anyway, there's a sleeve in this grommet, a metal sleeve that's part of the leaf spring itself. And what has happened, because this has been on here for 50-something years, 52, whatever, 53 coming up years, the sleeve that's in there and this bolt, you can see how rusty it is probably going to be rusted through. So what I'm going to have to do is cut the bolt off in between the frame here and the leaf spring itself. That's going to be fun. That's what I do on the other side. And may even have to cut off here. We'll see how that works. But hopefully I can get in and cut this leaf spring off like we did the other one. So yay, we finally got her out of there. Wasn't easy, but after being on the car for 50, whatever was it, 53 years? Almost. It is off. There we go. The bracket, the U-bolts, all off the car. Just the tire needs to be cleaned up too. But anyway, there we go. So next we're going to work on that back there, the shackle. get all that clean, or get that off of there, and drop the leaf spring down. So that's the next task. Off to it. Okay, sirens aside. Don't know what that's about. Not anything here. And gosh, look at my lovely hair. Anyway, we have continued to make progress. As just showed, we got the shock mount off, and now I've got the rear shackle, at least the nuts off the bolts, as we'll see here in just a second. Let me switch over. Okay, so here's the shackle up close and personal. So you can see the nut is off there. Oops, the nut is off up there. So this side of the shackle just comes off. It's a big rusty mess. Lucky we got new ones of those. So in theory, I should be able to just pound these through or pry them out. So these are, there's rubber bushings here that those have to go through. You can kind of see this one's cracked, but there's usually not a metal sleeve in these. So this should be able to pound or pry the bolts out. So that's what I'm going to get to doing now, is trying to get those out of there, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, that actually came out much easier than expected. Just took a little beating on the bolts as they were coming through, and voila, it is out. So the shackle's out. Now I got to get those old bushings out, because we got brand new bushings to go in there. I'm not worried about the one on the leaf spring. Don't have to worry about it, but I got to get those out from up there. So let's see if they're, that's not gonna, okay, well, I'm gonna pry these out or see what I can do. Yay, progress. Okay, we got the bushings out of there. That was no super easy task. It wasn't too hard, not the hardest thing we've ever done, but it wasn't easy. So, like I said, the bushings, this is a sleeve, and I'm going to have to clean out that thing, but it's the sleeve. Let me get my camera's blocking. See, anyway, goes up through the frame there. And you got, actually it's a two-part bushing. You got, goes about halfway through on this side and halfway through on this side. And apparently I drew some blood. Of course, you're not working on an old car if you don't draw a little blood. That's what I would say. So anyway, it goes halfway through, kind of meets in the middle somewhere in here. So I was able to get that side out, and then once I got that side out, I was able to then just press out with a screwdriver from this side, the outside one. I guess you could do it either way, I guess, somehow. But anyway, there's more room over here. So, let's see. Oh, pardon me. Let's see, where did the bushings go? Well, there's part of it. See, where did I put that bushing at? Well, there's one over there. So, get up. Whew, carry all over there. Oh, there's the other one. So, here we go. You can see, here's the bushing that was on the outside. So it was in the car like this. And I was just able to get a screwdriver in and push that out. The other half, whoops, pardon me. Anyway, this is the other half. This was in the car like this. So you can see I had to kind of chisel away at the outer lip. So you can see how this one has that outer lip on it. So I basically cut all that out, and then I was able to jam a screwdriver in there enough on the inside to just start slowly working it out of the hole, and it came out. So there we go. So that leaves the monster. The monster. Okay, well, I'm gonna get in and investigate that, but I'm gonna basically do as I did on the one on the other side. Get up under here and see what we're looking at. Here is on this side where my finger is, I'm going to try to run a sawzall up in there. Right there we go. You can see my fingers up in there. If I can get between here and here, cut that off. I don't think, I'll try. I'm going to try taking this bolt off here. Let's get where it focuses a little better. Not off there in the bolt to see if I can do anything with it, but I'm going to guess that's probably not going to work. Didn't on the other one, but yeah, might get lucky. So we'll try to take that off first and then go from there. If I can't get that off today, because I really need to cut the leaf spring out, give me more room to work, but I don't have a cutting wheel right now, so we'll see what we can do. Anyway, that's the next step. If I can't do that, I may do some cleaning. Anyway, there we go. But we're making progress. Leaf spring's now laying on the ground. Okay, so I'm working to get this bolt off. And I can pretty much tell that I'm going to be stuck in the same situation. Can't tell where I'm at. Hold on, go back. So I think that is the bolt that goes to the shock right there, and I'm trying to turn it on this end, and as I'm twisting the bolt or the nut on this side, you'll notice that one is not turning at all. And so what that is telling me is that, yep, this side is frozen just like the other one. So, yep, I'm going to have to cut it out. Probably go ahead and pull the bolt off here on this side, nut, whatever. But doesn't look like I'm going to have an easier time with this one. Hey everyone, finally got some time to get back out on this leaf spring. So first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and cut off most of it. Went to Harbor Freight today and got me an angle grinder with a cutting wheel. So that should allow me to get that off, and then we'll see if we can get up and get into the bolt. So anyway, I'll show you the angle grinder and then we'll get started. Okay, so here is my new angle grinder with a cutting wheel. So we're going to get in here and start hacking on this thing up in here as close as I can get it up in there. And I'll see if I can get the camera up in there enough to show you and catch some sparks flying and all that kind of stuff. So we get my little tripod thing out and we'll get to cutting. Okay, let's see what happens. Probably should have put that handle on here. Well, hello. I didn't know you were here.
Please don't hurt yourself.
Please hurt myself?
Please don't.
Well, that's the goal, is to not hurt myself. But people like to see sparks, so I'm filming it for YouTube.
Okay. Have fun.
Will do.
Just don't poke your eye out.
Well, I'm not. If anything, I'm going to cut my eye out.
Either way. So.
Oh, yay. Well, that worked. Woo! So we have now cut the leaf spring out. It is now gone. Ugh. So there we go. It is now officially out of the car and headed for some recycling place soon. Oh, look at all that rusting stuff that is falling off there. Okay, so where are we gonna go next? We gotta finish cutting this bad boy out of here. So next step is to try to get up in here. Oops. And get up and cut that bolt out of there. Oh. Well, I'm going to get to figuring that one out now. We'll see how this works. Okay, blade number 1 down. Blade number 2 attached. Time to get in with this one. Not sure we're making much progress, but we're trying. Whew, it's a vibrating experience. We'll see how far this blade gets us. Okay, we're continuing to make some progress. So I got that's the eyelet that was on the leaf spring off. Now you can actually see this is the sleeve that was in that, and there's a bolt. I've already cut off this end that was coming through here, and yeah, I kind of boogered up on my angle grinder, but no harm, no foul. So now this makes it easier for me to get to this and maybe actually get a cutting wheel on it instead of trying to fight with the Sawzall. We'll see. This one is turning out to be much harder than the driver's side was, but we're there. We're making some progress. Let's see what happens. We finally have success. We got it out. So there's the remains of that bolt right there. There's the end of the leaf spring. So what I ended up doing on this side, because it was easier, I actually cut out the slot in the eyelet of the leaf spring and was then able to rotate it around where that sleeve was, and then pry it off. So this came off, and then all I had was, as y'all saw, I think, the sleeve up there, and then I just used my angle grinder to cut it right off, and I had to punch the rest of the bolt through there, but it's out. It's out. So now I'm going to clean all this mess, start cleaning all this mess up before I put the new one on. but I'm very excited. That was a royal pain, but it's out. Okay, well, now to clean all this area up and clean rust and whatnot and so on. But yay, God, I thought that sucker was never going to come out. It's these, well, small victories. I'm not sure I'd call it small one, but these victories that make this worth doing. Yay. Okay, so said we got everything out. We're doing good. Light up in there so you can see it better. What I have done since I got that out is went ahead and cleaned up that as best I could. Got rid of, it wasn't really rusty up in there. It was actually pretty good, so a lot of good factory primer and stuff. But I cleaned things up, went ahead and shot it with some, let's see, where's the paint I used? Some of the VHT rolling bar and chassis high temperature paint. And primer, supposed to be self-priming. Anyway, so sprayed that up in there to get that ready for the leaf spring to go in. Tomorrow I'll probably put one more coat on it. Cleaned up, actually sprayed some more up in here. Yeah, it doesn't look great, but it's the undercarriage of the car. I'm not going for super paint job. I'm just going for rust prohibitive stuff. Also went down and sprayed and cleaned up the bracket down here with the leaf spring mounts to the axle. And clean up. Now, one thing I think is kind of neat, I don't know if you can see it here, but you actually see it's like, I don't know what you want to call it. See if you can see it better. I don't know if I can shine the light up in there better or not, but anyway, maybe this way. Yeah, so it's like permanent grooves. They're not even grooves. They're actually feel somewhat raised where the U-bolts went across the axle and connected to the shock mount bracket down here at the bottom there. Anyway, it's kind of cool. I guess that's what happens when pieces have been together for 50 something years. Did clean the axle a little bit. It's a little better. Anyway, so with that, so we're going to call that a video. I will be probably installing the new leaf spring in the next day or so. Don't know if I'll turn that into a video or not. Honestly, I don't remember if I did one. I did it on the driver's side. Yeah, I have rubber gloves because in cleaning and prepping for that I was using some acetone, which is, let's see, there's the acetone there to kind of get all the grease and stuff out from under there before I put the paint primer on there. But anyway, with that, guys, hope you have enjoyed the effort that was getting this leaf spring off. This has to have been one of the hardest tasks I've done to date. Yeah, it was just no fun. No easy way to get these things off after they've been together for this many years. So anyway, like I said, we'll get the new one on. Don't know if I'll do a video on that or not. But the next major system we're going to work on now that we've done the whole suspension on the car, is the exhaust system. So I got a whole new exhaust system put on here too. I've already started cutting parts off. I think y'all may have seen that, so that'll be the next thing. So with that, y'all have a great day, and I'll see y'all in the next one.